In the middle of nowhere, and probably out of time itself, a bunch of weird kids are getting together with one purpose: to figure out the definitive timeline of Jeff the Killer. If you are all about that, come join them in the border of Slumber, USA.
She had traveled to the Mictern's house. She was scouting it, waiting for Jeff to strike. She was using the converted cell phone to scout if anyone was making any calls from inside the house. Nothing had happened yet. She began to wonder if Jeff had decided to not show up. She began to grow tired of waiting. Suddenly, the converted cell phone went black. She tried turning it on, but it wouldn't. Man, your fucking battery died.
Yes.
She checked the battery and it seemed to be full. Oh fuck.
Wait a second, is he just becoming Slenderman with some weird EMP?
Oh my god, yeah, it probably...
Field.
For safety, she replaced them. Still no result. Now she became more vigilant of the house.
Became a vigilante.
Oh.
Then once...
I just read like the next line.
Oh no!
I just read ahead. Oh god, no!
So did I. Then once she saw made her turn cold.
God.
More cold than she already was. Come on, brother, let's read it together. He saw a tall creature. It was extremely thin. She squinted to try to see it better. It had no face. It barely had a nose.
Then how does he smell? Awful.
Nice for you to point out
I
that.
have no nose,
No
but
face,
I must
also
smell.
no nose. Then the final blow that really made her filled with fear was when she saw its back with tentacles were protruding out of.
Oh no, I've seen too much
Then-
hentai to know where this is going. Thought Jane.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no.
Then his voice, his grinding, terrible voice, rang through the police monitor.
Hey there, friend, it's me, your old friend, Jeff. How have you been, Jane? Good? Well, that's about to be ruined. See that thing down there? Isn't it? It's...
God damn. Okay, I need to read this.
His name... His name is the Slenderman.
I'm sorry. This is so ridiculous. God damn it. Alright, okay.
Yes.
Let me. God damn it. Let me try.
Hey,
Try again, please.
his name is the Slenderman. He's my best friend.
Friendship is
Jeff and Slendy, friends till the end. They're BFFs.
Fuck.
Well, friend may not apply here. Anyway, I can't have you around messing up my plans. Slenderman's going to make sure you don't get in the goddamn way. Goodbye, Jane. Oh, and Jane, go to sleep for once.
He said it.
He said the line.
Jeff rattled on through the radio menacingly. Right after he was done, Slenderman turned towards Jane. Wasn't he already? Well, anyway. Slenderman turned towards Jane and started to walk towards her.
Started to moonwalk towards her.
Jane had to think fast. She had no idea what that thing was and how it operates.
Oh no!
Oh no.
God damn it!
She grabbed her knife and began to run away. She hid behind a tree.
There were 8 notes right behind it.
However, she began to hear loud, piercing static. It continually got worse as Slenderman approached her. When it appeared to be unbearable, she jumped out from behind the tree. She fell to the ground as the piercing static tore at her mind. She couldn't take it anymore. Then suddenly, she was swooped off the ground. The painful static was at its peak. Then she saw it. She saw the Slenderman. She was gripped by its cold tentacles.
Oh no, not No, not hentai. Come on.
Nah, I mean, this is worse,
This is worse.
to be honest. You gotta do your voice.
Yeah.
This is...
Yeah.
Then the Slenderman spoke to her.
Jeff wishes you were dead, yet he causes pain without cause. Yet I obey the truth, and the truth obeys Jeff. Could the truth lie? I would find out after.
Yeah, you can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
He didn't actually say it. He didn't actually say it. I just made it up because it sounded cool. He said it in her mind. She struggled to escape his grasp. Suddenly, without any warning, the Slenderman tapped into her mind. Suddenly. Two suddenlies in a single line. Nice. Good writing.
That's genius writing.
Sorry that I take a break here because I don't know how long... Oh man, there's so many fucking story.
Oh, this is long.
I gotta mention it now because we have to find a moment to say it. The story itself is like actually competent. This person had 44 pages written. And this is just like a teaser.
Yeah.
But even still, is this a good story?
It kinda is.
It kinda... I mean, I think this is probably the best you can do with the characters.
Yeah, so far this is the only good Jeff the Killer story that I've read.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It has very dumb moments. But
It's not bad.
stuff happens. We get character development. We get motives. We get fights.
Mm-hmm.
We get surprises. We get drama.
We got Slenderman.
We get Slenderman talking in an Irish skeletal voice. You know, I'm happy. I'm happy, to be honest. And we have not yet finished this.
No,
So...
I don't even think we're close. I think we're somewhat halfway.
Oh, fuck. Well, might as well keep going then. Okay, let me read this line again. Suddenly, without any warning, the Slenderman tapped into her mind. Suddenly, it flowed her mind, full of all the painful moments in her life. All the pain she felt through her life rushed into her in one stream. It was agonizing for Jane. Suddenly, bullets whipped through the air, hitting the Slenderman. He let go of her, causing her to fall to the ground. She had trouble recovering after what she went through. The Slenderman retreated. She was thrown aback, but regained her footing. Never mind, this is a bad story. Just for that fucking line. They fucking shot the Slenderman, and he fucking ran away. Come on!
Like a little bitch.
This was a fucking 7? It's now a 5.
Slender Man, more like Slender
Manlet.
Manlets.
I want to use that word more often. There she saw Jack reloading a rifle. What the hell was that thing? Are you okay? He put his hand on her shoulder. Jane brushed him off. She took a moment to catch her breath. She grabbed her knife off the ground and stood up.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you for saving me. Jeff got away, but I know where he's at.
Jane said. Jane gathered her things and was prepared to move out. Wait just a second. I think you should rest for a bit. Whatever that thing did to you, it couldn't have been good. Just take a bit. Rest. I'll watch you back. Jack interrupted, checking the area. Jane didn't wish to wait any further. She was used to nights without sleep.
After all that praise.
Oh, yeah.
After all that praise, you're fucking ruining it now.
Well, I mean, it did have the line with Jeff literally saying that Slender Man was his best friend, so... Probably the best thing I think I've ever read.
That's fucking good line. Fucking BFFs forever.
Slender Man and Jeff ever met like college buddies since kindergarten. Oh, college buddies.
Let's give this episode a very artful title. A heart-shaped pendant with a picture of me and Slenderman.
Yes.
Oil cover canvas.
Jeff,
2019. She turned to Jack.
If Jeff knows I'm here, he may leave in the morning, and I'm not going to let him get away again.
Jack seemed displeased with her decision. After much mental debate, he decided to go along with her. His frown deepened. All right, go. I'll follow from behind and keep an eye out. You get into any trouble, just scream. Jane nodded. They followed the map of the old warehouse where Jeff was. Jane followed the path that John had left for her on the map. It was very dark, but at least she wasn't going to get snagged up on one of Jeff's traps. You know, like a paint can on a string, or a heater on the doorknob, or just a fucking flamethrower on the door.
just a flamethrower.
Home Alone jokes. I've done the one.
Or the
second ago.
nail that he steps on in the first one.
Yeah.
Ah, that's the fucking worst one.
Oh, it's always fun.
Keep the change, you filthy animal. She couldn't hear Jack behind her, and was hoping he was still there. She didn't want to call out to him in case of an ambush. After about an hour of following the trail, finally it paid off. There it was. The warehouse Jeff was supposedly held up in. Wait, held up? Has he been captured? By who?
By
By his best friend. Impossible.
his best friend Slenderman.
Oh my god, it's the SCP Foundation.
Oh my god, yes! Yes!
Jeff is an SCP.
She scouted the area. There was no sign of anyone around. Jack came up beside her. Alright, how do you want to do this? Jane had no idea how she was going to approach this. She thought about it for a bit. She looked at the map for a second. She was hoping that maybe it might have a layout of the warehouse itself. Unfortunately, there was nothing except for a mark indicating a back entrance. She had made up her mind.
Alright, there's a back entrance. You take that. I'll use the front entrance. If you see Jeff, find a good spot to keep watch of him. I'll try to find Jeff myself and prevent him from escaping. If you see the Slenderman, don't hesitate to shoot.
Don't hesitate to not die.
Oh, Jack.
Jack joked dark.
Oh, Jack. Jack is now my favorite creepypasta character.
I kind of like this guy.
Yes.
I can wait for him to die in like the next paragraph.
He's definitely good.
Jack joked darkly. Jane gave him a displeased look, and Jack chuckled. We don't know the backstory of this guy. Maybe we get an explanation in the future.
It started and ended with.
Oh no.
You know there's the jokes. I'm gonna keep them out of the episode, so sorry.
Alright, he was tentacle fucking me in the ass. How about that?
A little bit better.
I don't know.
Was it consensual?
Yes? Yeah. Sure, why not? I don't know.
It was a bad breakup.
It was a bad break.
That's the trauma.
That's what it was. Yeah. My ex still misses me, but his aim is getting better.
You're funny. Now let's get this going.
Jane said with her displeased tone. Jack chuckled again and headed off. What a goofster. Jane waited there for a bit until Jack was out of her sight. Jane then headed towards the opening in the warehouse. It was large. Larger than a warehouse should be. You know, this
It was the TARDIS of warehouse.
That explains Jeff's time travel powers.
Oh,
Yes. The warehouse TARDIS.
he was planning something, and inside this warehouse was wherever that was. She walked over to where there was once a door.
There was a dinosaur there now.
The door was missing, being thrown away, or intentionally removed by a dinosaur.
It was a dinosaur.
She entered the warehouse. It was surprisingly lit, yo.
Yeah.
The warehouse was full of boxes. However, most were incredibly old. They were all in black and white.
And contained the dankest kush.
Wait, callback, but did the boxes have a musket in them?
Yeah. Yes.
Jane walked around a bit, trying to be as quiet as possible. She had to be especially careful.
Jack, I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick. And the guy on my ass cheeks keeps attracting Jeff.
So that's why we needed the Metal Gear Solid phone. She had to be especially careful as there were a lot of bits of glass and other destroyed objects could blow her cover. Eventually, she found something she thought she would never find. It was some kind of machine.
It was some kind of ink machine.
It was some kind of time machine. It was large and expensive. At the center was a chair and headpiece. It was hooked up to a giant hole above with thousands of wire. Jane had no idea what to make of it. She couldn't imagine what it could have been. She looked around some more. Then something caught her attention. Jack was off the rafters. They locked eyes, and she waved to her. She nodded her head in confirmation of his position. She walked around some more, until she heard 3 voices ring through pseudo hallways created by the boxes. She threw herself behind some of the boxes, based on where the voices seemed to be coming from. Oh fuck, this is new characters, okay, fuck. So this man, some machinery. He said, this is what we spent 7 years trying to build, the leader remarked.
Yes, it's glorious, isn't it? A machine with the power to amplify my psychic powers.
A machine to surpass Metal Gear.
And turn them into weapons we can use to turn this world into utter chaos. You see it, right? False.
One of the other men spoke. The man who spoke next was most likely the false, since he spoke right after the one after the other man did. Amazing detective logic, Jane. Amazing detective logic. Here, have another golden star. You have so many. You're a good noodle.
Wait. He starts his line with brother. There's a perfect way to introduce it. Brother!
Brother, there are too many possible outcomes until we get closer to the date when it will happen.
The false was cut off before he could continue. Suddenly, it entered. The Slenderman entered the room. It spoke up, surprisingly.
Truth, I have found there to be difficulties in this operation.
The Slenderman voice was impossible to forget. It was a very raspy voice, however, he always seemed to talk in a harsh tone. Nah,
No.
he was also in a rather high pitch. Yes, I accept that. After what he did to her, she'd never forget what it sounded like. Jane imagined that this was the truth.
Truly a horrifying voice.
This was the truth. Since it was the brother of the false, and he spoke up after the Slenderman had finished.
Slender!
God damn it.
Slender, we need you to stay focused. Now, we need to get ready to go out again. Jeff needs to take out a thorn in our side.
Jeff is a killer. He kills with no cause. How could you follow such a man?
The Slenderman asked. And now, the leader spoke up. Jeff is with us. He's on our side. Don't get that confused, Slender. Jeff is one of our biggest assets. A distraction for us to acquire the tools that we need to build the Loki.
Oh my god, they're building Tom Hiddleston in a lab.
Oh, fuck. Oh, they got Tom Hiddleston. Now, Jeff needs your help, understand? The leader said with a tone of anger.
Slenderman's the Darth Vader of the group. He's the one that seems most intimidating, but the superiors just boss him around like he's a little bitch.
Oh my god, Jeff is the Emperor.
I am.
Jeff is the Senate.
I am the JBC. Yeah, throwback to our first episode. The leader said
Yes.
with a tone of anger. It was obvious he wasn't having any of the Slenderman's objections.
Objection!
This, I will go assist Jeff.
Slenderman spoke with an undertone of displeasure. Jane was unable to see anything. However, she could tell that the 3 left, all except Slenderman. What? Okay. So, yeah, this is not a good story. This is attempting to be a good story and it's almost doing it. She couldn't see what he was doing or what Jack was doing. Her anxiety was through the roof. Suddenly, a voice called out to her. Gianarkazo, second floor, office 2. Then the Slenderman proceeded to leave. Jane was terrified and confused at the same time. She knew that either way, she would have to check that office. It was all she had to go on. She looked at Jack. Both nodded their head at each other. Yeah, what were you expecting to nod? She saw the stairway that led to the next floor above her. Fucking hell, this is so long. This is the first.
Yeah,
This is still the first fucking.
yeah, this is only the first chapter.
And this person write 3 out of 5 acts.
Oh my god.
I wasn't joking. This is Homestuck. The Homestuck of creepypasta.
This is Homestuck.
Yeah, she walked over the stairs. They were old and rickety. She walked up them slowly, trying to make as little sound as possible, but she was dummy sick and the cleft of her ass cheeks kept attracting. I'm gonna stop there. When she reached the top, there were 5 offices. She walked down the railway to the office that said Office 2.
Office 2.
The Office
Inside.
2.
Electric Boogle. Office 2, Judgment Day.
Office harder.
Yes, we can use the jokes here now.
She walked in. It looked like a normal office. This office, however, was covered in dust and dirt. She looked through all the books and such, trying to mess things up as little as possible. She found nothing. Jane was getting irritated at this point. She saw nothing to indicate the office was special. Then she saw it. She looked at a binder. It was full of papers along with the rest of them. However, this one had a black line down the bottom of the pages. She'd never noticed this before. She grabbed it and opened it up. Inside were blueprints for the machine outside the room, along with notes and such on the machine itself. She didn't have the knowledge, time, or patience to read through all the information on the machine, named the Loki. However, what she did see was that in the back there were profiles on each of the men involved in the machine. The Crow was the leader of
Oh my god.
the group.
The Crow.
Randomly, he's back.
He'd been planning something like for years, and now his magnum opus had finally been accomplished. Next was the Truth. Truth was the sidekick who had been alive since 1903. Wow, fuck.
Wow.
He gained his abilities in 1935 when he was 32 years old. Well, no shit.
He then digs some tunnels on a house. Some sex slave tunnels.
Oh god, yes. The World War II sex slave.
It all adds up. He hadn't truly aged since that day. In 1971, he split into 2 beings. That's where False's history began. The Truth originally had the abilities of both himself now and the False. Then it possessed different psychic abilities. Before she could finish reading, a large bang was heard outside. Jane ran to say where it was. It was Jeff. Jeff held 2 bottles of alcohol in his hands. It was clear he was drunk as he stumbled through the decayed warehouse.
Ah.
He gets pissed.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes, drunk Jeff.
Truth! False! Where the hell are you two? You finished this stolen machine already? I'm getting tired of playing bait for you two fools.
He took a swig from one of his bottles.
Man, I love these nights. Get back from a fresh murder. Got the home all to myself. I got some sweet, sweet whiskey. Tonight's a night for me.
Jane watched this. She grew more and more angry at the bastard.
This is beautiful.
She thought that this was her chance.
I kinda love this. This is a very fun interpretation of Jeff.
Yes, this is actually a very fun story.
This is the kind of Jeff we will expect.
Yes.
Like, the Slenderman in this story is fucking horrible. Like, this is the worst Slenderman I have read.
Well, I've read a worse Slenderman. There was one where he was basically tied to Adolf Hitler. No, that's about it.
Wow. I thought you were gonna say, like, that Slenderman from Boys Box. But no, that one's just kinda like a serious stoic man. This is kind of a weirdo that bends their will to others, and that's not what I hope the Slenderman to do. But Jeffrey getting to what's the word? Dual wielding. No, dual wielding some whiskey bottles
whiskey.
and just being a fucking clown, calling Slenderman his best friend. Like, That sounds like something that Jeffrey we know would do. So I guess point for the story. That's a very lovable douchebag.
This was the moment she would acquire her revenge. She looked at Jack and knew exactly what she wanted. He nodded and took aim. He focused his sights, aimed, and then in one quick moment, the shadow of a bullet whizzed through the air. Then Jane was filled with horror. The bullet reached her about a foot away from him and changed direction away from him. The bullet flew straight up and then hit the ceiling. Jeff stood there for just a moment. Both Jane and Jack were speechless, each with an expression of horror on their faces.
Well, Jane, I guess Slendy wasn't able enough to take you out.
He didn't go to school, I guess, so
I guess not.
justified.
Yeah, and also he's drunk, so
Yeah,
Oh,
he's,
yeah,
he's,
also too.
he's drunk. He's drunk as balls at the moment.
he's drunk as a skunk. Jeff said, filling Jane and Jack with even more horror. He turned around and looked directly into Jane's eyes, the same look he gave her the day he murdered her family. Oh shit, this is getting intense, guys, I gotta say. Jane jumped from the railway to one of the boxes below and then to the floor, then to the dinosaur. She held the knife close to her chest in her fighting stance. She'd left the binder on a desk in the office.
So you found your way into my little home away from home. Welcome, Jane. It has been a while since the last time I saw you. You still look just as beautiful as the day I set you on fire.
Jeff said as a satanic grin stretched on his face. See, you're still the murderous piece of shit I've hunted for 3 years.
3 years? It seems as though it was only yesterday when I shoved my blade through each and every one of your friends' family. Oh, those were good times.
Jeff was still grinning. You bastard, Jane said, filled with even more anger than before.
Ah, this seems like a pretty anticlimactic place for our final battle. I guess it'll do. Hang on. I need to put my whiskey down so it doesn't get ruined.
I love this fucking clown.
Oh my god, this is actually such a good interpretation of
Yes, this is
Jeff.
great. I fucking love it.
Kind of a Joker, but not the
Yeah.
Joker. It's just fucking edgy team, but it's funny. It's kind of quirky. He's a fucking psychopath.
I mean, he's a psychopath instead of an edgelord, which I do like.
Yeah, it's kind of edgy, you know. Soft my blade. Too edgy to be an audience.
It's a fun edge.
It's a fun edgy, pretty much. Yeah.
It's just a
Yeah.
psycho killer character that you kind of love for being a douche.
He's not sitting in the corner screaming that he's tortured and singing like Linkin Park songs.
He's in screaming, crawling, crawl.
Jeff said, still smiling. He placed his 2 bottles of whiskey on a tall, heavy box. He was certainly taller than Jane. She could never reach that box.
Ah, but that's fake. We know Jeff is a mallet.
Jeff pulled out his knife, a different knife than the one he had used to kill her family. He licked it with his devilish grin and proceeded to laugh afterwards.
See? Jeffrey knows to use sharp knives. Now Jeffrey gets a golden star.
He's a good noodle.
I like to compare the taste of a blood knife and one covered in blood.
Oh my god, he is a vampire. Jeff joked, then laughed again. I'll be sure to shove that blade down your throat once I'm finished with you, Jane said, now at the peak of her anger.
Ah, such a joker. Now dance with me.
Have you ever danced with the devil in the
Yeah.
pale moonlight, Jane?
And then they both did the tango.
Jeff commanded. The two of them proceeded to dash at each other. Jeff tried for the first stab.
Naruto dash.
Jane was able to deflect it. Both proceeded in a series of trying to slash or stab the other, each being able to dodge or deflect any of them. Jane constantly kept coming at Jeff, her anger leading her into a rage. Jack kept monitoring the situation, making sure Jeff didn't kill Jane, while not giving away his position. I mean, dude, you kind of did. It continued like this. Jane and Jeff's constant slashes and dodges rang through the air.
Wow, an anime fight.
It lasted like this for minutes, until Jane finally broke the stalemate. Jane charged at Jeff, causing him to dodge backwards. He was tripped due to him being drunk and not seeing something on the ground. In his attempt to stand up, Jane was able to stab Jeff in the shoulder. Oh, going for the silver shoulder as per usual. Jeff yelped in pain.
Ah, you bitch!
Payback, bitch! Payback!
Jeff screamed, trying to pull the knife out of his shoulder. Jane ran up to Jeff and pulled her knife out. Just as she was about to continue her checks, Jeff headbutted her. She staggered back. However, in that moment when the battle ceased, even for just a few seconds, she felt something.
Yeah.
As she stood there for help, she felt a sudden warmth throughout her body. She felt as though the essence of life had returned to her body. When she recovered, Jeff was standing there, holding his shoulder in pain.
Well, Jane, it took you 3 years, but you actually managed to hurt me. I'll prepare your trophy once we're done here.
Jeff left flatly, his face showing no pain at all. I think the blood on my knife is trophy enough, Jane growled.
And the 5 golden stars you got.
The 5 golden stars on her knife.
She's a good noodle.
It's a participation trophy.
That's funny, but I don't have the time to sit here and play with you or your friend.
Jeff, don't do it, man. Don't do it. Jeff said smiling. He proceeded to look at Jack in the rafters. Oh no, don't hurt Jack. He's like the best character.
He was his best boy.
Jeff then dropped something to the floor. Jane didn't know what it was until it went off. It was a flashbang, one she had seen the police use. It stunned her and caused her to stay. Well, I mean, they're having an anime battle, so Jeff just basically dropped a modern day smoke bomb, really.
Yeah.
Her head hurt even worse than when Jeff hit it. Suddenly, before she knew it, Jeff had hit her on the head, something bad. She remained conscious for a few seconds before she fell unconscious.
Hey, tradition.
Jack had seen all this, but was unable to do anything about it. He was dazed as well.
Shoot bullets!
He saw Jeff grab his whiskey and run out of the warehouse.
Oh, yeah, he actually grabbed his whiskey and shit.
Ah, thank
He
God.
decided not to chase after him, but instead grabbed the binder and Jane and take them to the safe house. He can't shoot. Last time he shot Jeff, like, the bullet just fucking deflected, so.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, we have...
He's like...
I can't believe that the fucking creepypasta is giving us reasons for stuff happening.
Yeah.
He ran from the rafters and jumped onto the railway with the offices in it. He went to the office and grabbed the binder. He jumped down to the same box Jane jumped down to, and then jumped to the floor just like her.
He ran over to her and checked her vitals. She seemed to be alive. In fact, what was weird was that she had more of a pulse now than she did when he first checked when they captured her. He picked her up, ran outside the building, and escaped. When Jane woke up from her sleep, she was in a room. The room was a normal bedroom, a bed, a nightstand, and a dresser. All the normal things you'd expect to be in a room. She stood up. There were 2 doors, one on her left and one in front of her. She went to the one on the left. It was a bathroom. It was a very plain bathroom. Nothing truly special or notable about it.
Like a plain Jane.
Like a plain Jane, if you will. It had been a while since she had seen an actual bathroom. The last one she had seen was in her old home.
Wait, then how's she been going to the toilet if this is the last time she'd seen an actual bathroom?
In the woods. The woods were her bathroom.
She's shitting in the woods. That's canon, I guess.
Yeah.
Nice to know.
We
got J.K. Rowling.
We got J.K.
Maybe she's been using porta potties.
Oh yeah, that could be a possibility.
Oh, that could be a thing. But it's funnier if she's sitting on it.
The last one she had seen was in her old home when she visited about half a year ago. She looked into the mirror inside to find something rather off about herself. She was no longer a pure white. She had a slight tint of flesh color in her now.
Oh.
Her incredibly black hair now had a tint of brown in it. It was still black, most of the time. However, under the right light, you could see a little bit of brown in there as well. Not only that, but her dark purple lips are now more slightly red, as her lips should be. However, her eyes were still completely black, like an abyss. David came into the room. He looked glad to see her awake. Jane walked out of the bathroom and greeted him.
Hey, David.
Hey, Jane, I seen you were doing well.
David said with a slight smile, which only turned up on his right cheek.
Yeah, my head still hurts a little. I'm guessing we didn't get Jeff.
Jane said with a smile. David sat down on the bed.
No, I really thought we would have gone with this one. I mean, I'm glad that we got that binder, but I just wanted. Never mind,
David said glumly. Jane sat to him on the bed. Jane sat next to him on the bed.
Yeah, I thought we'd get him too.
Jane said. Jane, I just... David tried to say something, but he couldn't do it. Jane could tell something was bothering him.
David, it's okay. We'll get him.
She said, determinedly, but with the intent to comfort David. It's not that. David sat up from the bed. It's that today's the day my sister died, and
Aww.
David tried to explain further but was unable to.
David.
Jane tried to say something, but David interrupted her before she could say anything. Look, I gotta go. I'm sorry for all this. We're leaving for the safe house. Take the time you need to get ready. There are some different clothes for you in the dresser. Feel free to take what you like, David said as he left the room. Jane didn't know what to say. She went over to the mirror again and inspected herself. Eventually, she changed her clothes and headed downstairs. There was Jack at a table reading over the binder they had acquired from the warehouse. She sat down next to him.
What did you find in the binder?
It's worse than Jeff. The machine in the warehouse is able to amplify our psychic powers. They plan to use it to destroy the entire infrastructure of America, and then use it to cause mass riot and general chaos. Disgusting. My America.
Wait, so just modern day America?
Wait a second. They spelled Jane wrong in this one. They spelled Jane incredibly wrong.
Oh fuck yeah.
Just the kind of world Jeff would like. A world that perfectly represents him.
Jane responded.
We can let this happen, but we are nowhere near capable of taking them down. I don't have no weapons or supplies for something like that.
Jack said in a rather calm manner.
Then it looks like we're going to have to take it. We can rob local gun stores for ammo and guns, then we stage an all-out assault on the warehouse.
This is a full-out fucking war.
I'm actually kind of pumped to see what
fuck!
it's
Yeah.
It's almost done.
Oh shit.
Oh no, it says, oh, fuck. I was actually getting really pumped for this.
Yeah, so I was actually really getting into it. This is
fuck.
This is actually pretty
like
decent for a Jeff the Killer story.
Yeah, like I'm actually, rather than feeling like just wanting it to end and interrupting with jokes. Yeah, I want to see how this fucking goes. Fuck.
I'm actually really interested to see what happens next.
It sounds suicidal, but if that's what it takes to stop those men, then I'm game.
Jack responded.
We'll need to run this plan over with the group if it's a death wish, but it may be the only thing to stop us sin completely.
Jane replied.
Alright, we'll move out in a bit.
He got up from his chair and left. Jane was left there, alone. She looked at the binder. She didn't know what to think.
If Jeff has the ability to completely bring the world to its knees, then I can no longer accept failure. I can't let anyone get in my way.
Jane thought to herself. She remembered what Jeff did, the look in his eyes, how much he enjoyed everything. She wondered how all this happened. How did Jeff get these abilities? How did Jeff even get in contact with these people? Then suddenly, a more important question sprang into her mind. Who the hell was John? And why did he know all about the warehouse? That was the most haunting question that came to her mind.
Then the most haunting question came to her mind.
Why
did he have those burn marks on the side of his face?
Next act coming soon.
Oh, don't end it there.
And there's no fucking link to the rest of the story.
No. When was this put up? I want to see if there's more. Don't just leave me hanging.
Oh.
No, don't leave me hanging like this, please.
Let me just fucking damn it. Let me look.
When?
This is from 2013. It's been 6 years.
Oh, come on. This is like the only good Jeff the Killer story.
Yeah, this is the only good Jeff the Killer story.
They actually made Jane a likable character. So
yeah,
I gotta say that.
They also made Jeff a likable character too, which is how he acted. It was fucking great.
Yeah, and fucking even like I even like let out an involuntary awe. It was like this is the same day this is like the same day my sister died. So it's I
actually cared about these characters.
Yeah, shit. I mean, no past has ever really done that.
Really good. For a Jeff the Killer story, this is
none of the ones we have read on this entire podcast has made me care about the actual characters.
Yeah.
because they're either written like idiots or written like psychopaths, and they're just like genuinely unlikable. And that kind of just makes you go, well,
Yeah.
fuck it, if you die, I don't care.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. This is not a creepypasta. But this is a great story. Well, great. This is a good story with the characters.
This should be the creepypasta cinematic universe movie. This is what this should be.
Yes. Yes.
Like this is fucking great. Like this is great.
This is the kind of stuff that will kickstart the cinematic universe that we're kind of building with all these shit
Yeah.
stories. This is our this is our Avengers.
Yeah.
This is the movie that kickstarts the concept of a continued timeline and propels
Yeah.
it. And I feel so
Yeah.
bad. Like I didn't came here expecting it to be
Yeah.
decent.
Yeah,
and
this
actually
was great, honestly. This was awesome. I fucking loved it. I mean, sure, it had some really
Man.
dumb moments, like Jeff calling best friend, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, but it's not like you can just put that down to Jeff being Jeff. I mean,
Yeah.
really, aside from a couple of like
Yes.
dumbly written sentences and Slenderman kind of being a pushover, there's not really that much wrong with it.
yes, that's
That's true.
you know, there's some of the word choices
hmm
and then there's some grammatical errors still, even from this revised
Mm-hmm.
version. And then there's, the whole characterization of Slender. But otherwise, this is a good story. Like this is a good teen fiction. This is very nice.
This
teen
is
fiction.
great. I fucking love this. This is fun to read. I actually enjoyed this instead of wanting to die while I was reading.
Yeah, I totally enjoy this. Yeah, oh man, like that was just the fucking prologue. And there's, I know we just have that was Act 1, as according to this. Yeah, TheTremonster posted a blog in June 24th, 2013. Killer Instinct Act 2. It's coming.
Oh,
It didn't come.
yeah.
So yeah, this was Killer Instinct by TheTremonster. What a better way to close the season, the first season of Border of Slumber USA.
Yes.
Because I think this is a peak. This was a peak that we cannot beat in a while, so we have to keep on researching.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do in the Border of Slumber. We research this boy. Now, I think we have to close the
Yeah.
episode. Timeline thing, it's already fixed, so...
Yeah, this person more or less like
uh,
sort of filled in a timeline for us. Anyway,
Yes.
so it's easy
Yeah.
enough.
this is... That's why... there's a lot of reasons why this is a great way to close this.
Yeah, like I came in here
So-
expecting to read some terrible thing and kind of like, make fun of it. Came out surprised. Like this was really good.
So I think I'm gonna go for a throwback. From the Border of Slumber USA, we wish you a good night. And remember,
Go to sleep.